The same 25,000 a month builds your first 10 lakh in 34 months. It builds your last 10 lakh in 8. Same money, same fund, same market. 4 times faster. And no calculator ever warns you. The projection shows you a smooth curve to 1 crore. It never shows what the first 3 years feel like from the inside. Let me show you why the first 10 lakh feels so heavy. There is real math behind the weight. There is wiring in your head making it worse. And there is an exact month where it finally lifts. Stay till that number. Meet Rishan, 33, works in Pune, takes home about 90,000 a month. In January, he set up a SIP of 25,000 into a plain index fund. Told nobody, just started. By December, he had done everything right. And honestly, it felt like nothing had happened. The portfolio showed a little over 3 lakh, 11 months of discipline, and the growth line was a rounding error. That same year, his colleague Rohit financed a car. Everyone noticed the car. Now, here is the strange part. By the numbers, Rishan was already winning. The UBS Global Wealth Report puts the median Indian adult's total wealth at roughly $4,000, about 3.5 lakh rupees. And that counts everything. Property, gold, savings, all of it. So a salaried guy quietly crossing 10 lakhs has left the national median far behind and feels nothing. No applause, no visible change, not even a notification worth a screenshot. That gap between what the money means and what it feels like is not bad luck. It has a structure, and the structure has 3 layers. Start with the layer nobody escapes, the math itself. Take that SIP of 25,000 a month. Assume 12% a year, the long-run ballpark for Indian equity. The exact rate is not the point. The shape it produces is. The first 10 lakh arrives after 34 months, nearly 3 years of deposits. Now cut that 10 lakh open, because the inside is the whole story. 8.5 lakh is money Rishan carried in himself, salary by salary, month after month. Compounding contributed 1.5 lakh. It needed 3 full years to manage even that. At this stage, the machine you were promised barely exists. You are the machine. 85% of the number on that screen is your own effort, reflected back at you. Then the gears start to bite. The second 10 lakh takes 26 months. The third takes 20. The fifth takes 14. And the last 10 lakh before 1 crore takes 8 months. 8. The machine now adds in 8 months what once took 3 years of carrying. Same SIP the whole way. The only thing that changed is which engine does the pulling. There is a word for this shape: backloaded. The rewards sit at the far end, so the effort sits at the near end. Every SIP pamphlet shows you the far end. You have to live in the near end. So the heaviness is not a mood. It is a measurable property of the curve. And if math were the whole story, knowing it would fix it. It does not, because the second layer lives in your head. In 2006, researchers at Columbia University ran an experiment with cafe reward cards. Buy 10 coffees, get 1 free. Customers bought coffee faster and faster the closer they got to the free one. Same coffee, same reward. Distance alone changed their motivation. Psychologists call it the goal gradient effect. Effort feels light near a finish line. It feels crushing far from one. Your brain literally pays you less in motivation for the same work when the goal sits far away. Now put Rishan's 34 months against that wiring. At month 11, he stands at 3 lakh out of 100, 3% of the distance. His brain reads that number and quietly cuts the motivation budget to match.
And the finish line is not just far. In the early years, it is mathematically invisible because the growth that closes the distance has not started yet. Then comes the second charge on the bill. Spending pays instantly. The phone is in your hand today. The Goa trip is this weekend. Your brain loves a payoff it can touch. Saving pays in a decade. And research on delay discounting shows the brain treats a reward 10 years away as nearly worthless. Not slightly smaller, nearly worthless. So each month, the SIP takes $25,000 your brain fully feels and buys something it barely registers. Run that lopsided trade 12 times a year, in the dark, for 3 years. That is why most SIPs die young. Not bad funds, not emergencies. The trade feels bad long before it starts feeling good. The third layer is social. It is the quietest one, and I think it is the one that actually breaks people. Everything Rashawn's circle did with money that year could be seen. Rohit's car in the parking lot, the new iPhone 2 desks over, a friend's palace wedding all over Instagram for a week. Rashawn's 10 lakh lives in an app, behind a fingerprint. Nobody sees it. Nobody can see it. In its first years, wealth is a completely private event. Charlie Munger was asked about this stage once. His answer stuck because it was blunt. The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you have to do it. The struggle he meant was never the amount. It is that those years produce nothing anyone can look at. This is where people slip into performing wealth instead of building it. Looking rich runs on visibility, and it pays today. Compounding runs in the dark, and it pays in 15 years. For the whole first stretch, the only scoreboard your friends can see is pointing the wrong way. Rashawn almost quit in month 20. Nothing had gone wrong. That was the problem. The app showed 58,000 rupees of growth after 20 months of sacrifice. The car downstairs made a stronger argument every morning. He stayed in for an unglamorous reason. The SIP was automated, and he had grown bored of checking the app. Boredom is one of the most underrated forces in finance. The people who survive the invisible years are the ones who stopped watching the pot. So, when does it stop feeling like this? There is an actual answer, with a month attached. Keep the same SIP running and watch one specific line. Not the total, the split inside the total. Your deposits on one side, the market's contribution on the other. For years, your side dominates. Then, around 11 years in, past the 60 lakh mark, the lines cross. From that month on, the market has put in more than you ever did. Most of your money is now money your money made, and the experience changes on the far side of that crossover. A decent market year adds more than your salary does. A bad month swings more than you deposit. Your own contribution becomes a minority shareholder in your own portfolio. You stopped being the engine somewhere along the way. Now, you are the passenger. The milestones tell the same story from the other side. 10 lakh took 34 months of pure carrying. 90 lakh to a crore takes 8, and your deposits cover barely a fifth of it. At 1 crore, the full autopsy reads like this. About 40 lakh entered from salary. 60 came from growth. The majority of the final number was never carried by you at all. So the heaviness has a shape. It is not spread across the journey. It is concentrated almost entirely in the first 34 months. When the math gives you nothing, the brain overcharges you, and nobody can see. The weight is not evidence you are doing it wrong. The weight is the price, and it was always part of the deal. 3 layers stacked. The curve is backloaded, so you carry the early years alone. The brain punishes distant goals, so it fights you the whole way. And the work is invisible, so nobody claps. But flip it around once. Those 34 months are the most expensive lakhs you will ever buy. Every lakh after them costs less effort than the one before. Forever.
The entry price of compounding is paid exactly once, at the start, by the version of you that gets nothing back yet. Crossing 10 lakh was never about the 10 lakh. It builds the system, and it builds the person who can run it through the stretch designed to make them quit. Everything after that is just the machine keeping its promise.
And if you are standing at 0 tonight, that is not a wall. It is the flat first stretch of the same climb everyone makes, and it bends upward for you too. The heaviness has a reason, and now you know the month it ends. Next time, this same machine at planetary scale. The largest pile of money on Earth just turned its head, and your SIP is swimming in its wake.